Welcome to this Pianist Magazine video featuring two new models from Kawai's CX line of digital pianos, the CX102 and the CX202. These instruments mark a fresh direction for Kawai's home digital pianos. They are designed to offer the refined feel and expressive sound of an acoustic piano, but with elegant, compact cabinets that fit beautifully into most living spaces. This new CX line actually replaces the very popular KDP line of pianos. If you are familiar with the KDP range, you will recognize many of the visual cues from the bottle layout to the clean cabinet lines and the overall design language. I know the KDP range extremely well, particularly the KDP 120, which I've played frequently both as a stage piano and in my teaching work, where we have several of those pianos that we use daily. So I'm in a good position to see how this new CX line has evolved. I'm happy to report that while the KDP was already an excellent digital piano, the CX moves even closer to the sound and feel of a large acoustic instrument. They're also ideal for returning players, such as adults rediscovering the piano after a few years away, or learners who might not yet have the space or budget for a larger digital instrument or even an acoustic piano. My son has already been lobbying me hard to move one of these into his bedroom. The footprint is small enough to fit comfortably, and the combination of great sound quality and modern connectivity would suit him perfectly. Not only for piano practice, which he definitely needs, but also for his many music technology projects. I had both models with me for a while, and the CX102 is the one you can see here in black finish, and the CX202 in rosewood. And I'll be sharing with you the main differences between them, how they feel to play, and who do I think they're best suited for. Just personally, I think the rosewood finish is quite elegant, quite warm, a little bit more distinctive than the black, but everybody to their own and to what they like. One of the most important aspects of any piano is the feel of the keyboard, and this is where the two models differ most clearly. The CX102 uses Kawai's responsive hammer-light action, which is a graded, weighted design that helps young players develop finger strength and technique. It is light enough for beginners, but it still offers a good resistance for some expressive control. The CX202, on the other hand, moves up the quality with the responsive Hammer Compact 2 action. This is a triple sensor mechanism that provides great precision and a lot of responsiveness, and is a little bit closer to what you will feel on an acoustic grand piano. For more advanced players, the triple sensor design captures fast repetitions and nuanced dynamics with greater accuracy, making it ideal for more sophisticated repertoire. So I'm now sitting in front of the CX202, and I'm going to try a few musical things with a piece by Enrique Granados called Villanesca. I'm going to sort of round down a little bit what I'm trying to achieve with it and see if the piano is able to do it or not. The music starts like this. And there's a sort of repeated sort of D note in there. So I'm going to try to see if I can create a nice diminuendo from forte sort of to a mezzo piano, but still retain a little bit of a ping, a little bit of an attack on that top D. I can sort of still recreate those two sounds, plus the melody is working sort of quite well in the middle of the texture. The melody then repeats. I'm going to try now una corda this time round. There is quite a little bit of contrast in the color in here. On the next musical phrase, I'm going to try to play with a little bit longer pedal to achieve a special sound effect as the top notes are going to be moving around a little bit. And I think that reacted pretty well. We had the special different color thanks to the pedaling, which the piano was able to handle quite well. And I thought the crescendo had quite a lot of dynamic contrast to it. How well does the piano react to fast repeated notes? Well, let's give it a little try now with a passage from Mussorgsky Pictures. Having played it now for a little while, I can tell you that it's quite responsive. It bounces back really quickly, allows quite a lot of control. Let's hear it in the context of a rather sort of complex technical passage and see how that reacts. I think that is very good and very responsive. Any mistakes or any notes that didn't repeat in there were solely due to my lack of finesse and technique, but I think the piano reacted beautifully to all of that. Both models, the 102 and the 202, are able to hold 192 notes of polyphony, which means that you can sustain a good number of notes under one pedal. Now, 192 may seem like an exaggerated number, but sometimes you do end up playing quite a few notes under one pedal. Let's say, for example, if you wanted to approach the ending of Mussorgsky Pictures of an exhibition in the same way that Mikhail Pletnev does, who very famously plays the last sort of 3 pages of the piece entirely under one pedal. You can do this sort of fairly successfully on these pianos. A bit messy on my part, but I think the piano is reacted wonderfully to all of that music. Next, we're going to try a little bit of classical repertoire and something that will challenge the piano in terms of balance once more. In this particular case, we're looking at the second movement of Beethoven Sonata Opus 13 in C minor, the celebrated sort of Adagio cantabile from the sonata. And let's see if the piano allows me to create, again, different layers of sound. A nice cantabile melody against a quiet middle texture and a third voice in the bass line that is able to sort of come out distinctly as well. I think I was able to do quite a lot of the musical directions and intentions that I had in mind, and I feel quite happy with the way that the piano is able to react to my input, to my touch, and to the different levels that I'm trying to recreate in here. Let's see how well we can voice as well different notes in a chord. So one test I sometimes like to do in pianos is take any chord, and I'm going to try to voice different notes as I play the chords. So starting from the top to the bottom. That was relatively easy to do. I think it's a very good testament to the quality and the feedback that you're getting from the action on the piano. Let's have a little bit of a look at some examples of the functionality of both instruments. And as I mentioned before, both of them have Bluetooth MIDI, which is a wonderful way of connecting to your devices. So with Kawai's Piano Remote app, you have a huge amount of control over the sound and the different sort of functions of the piano. So in here we have the list of all the different available sounds, different types of grand piano, model on the SK concert, like a slightly more mellow sound, or electric piano, all the way to jazz and various different pianos, non-piano sounds. Perhaps one of the more interesting things is the ability of controlling a little bit the sound of the piano, both through the use of the virtual technician section and as well different types of reverbs. So in reverb we can go from sort of like a living room or a small room sound, all the way to a cathedral reverb with a nice and rich resonance in there behind it. We're going to leave it at concert hall, I think, for the rest of the demonstration, as well as changing tuning, which can sometimes be useful. But more importantly, the transpose button, if you're working with singers, for example, or if you need to transpose something, very easy to do that. It has saved my life in a couple of occasions when I got the score in the wrong key whilst accompanied somebody. So the ability to transpose can be very, very effective indeed. In terms of the virtual technician, you can then edit absolutely every aspect of the piano sound to get it just to the way that you like it. Although I have to say that the default standard sound is quite beautiful, but sometimes I like a sort of a slightly brighter sound. So for example, if I play like just very quickly a normal tone, and we compare that with a, let's say, bright attack, it's quite a marked difference in between all of those. For the more inclined on you to tinker and to be fastidious and meticulous about the sound that you want from the piano, you have all these other options as well, which are very good, including the different points in which the pedal starts to work. So you can adjust the gradation on the pedal to get it just to the correct point that you want. I think this is a fantastic way to control your piano. All of these functions that are present through the app are also achievable through combinations of notes on the piano. So pressing the two buttons over here plus one of the keys will allow you to have access to all of these. So fear not, if you don't have an iPad or you don't have a telephone, you can still get access to all of these in equally, although not as fun as it is with the app. Let's talk now about a feature that is exclusive to the CX202, which is Bluetooth audio. So in the previous one we saw how the Piano Remote app works through Bluetooth MIDI, which is also useful for things like GarageBand or other sort of DAW software, which allow you to sort of connect the two of them wirelessly. But Bluetooth audio is exclusive to the C202, And it's a great feature because it allows you to do things like this. So, for example, if you take the very popular app iReal Pro that lots of musicians use, and you want to play any sort of charts, or allows you to play any music, allows you to play it through the speakers of the instrument itself, which it's great because you will be able to achieve a very good balance of sound between the two of them. So let's say if you're practicing with an iPad or with a telephone, sometimes there is imbalance in the volume of the sounds, particularly if you are, let's say, with a telephone. But being able to play that music directly from the instrument is a great asset. So, for example, I have a chart in here, and if I play it through, all that sound now is coming from the speakers on the piano. It's nice and rich. I can hear like a really deep sort of bass in there, as well as the drums. I can also control separately the volume of the Bluetooth audio from the volume of the piano sound. So by selecting these two keys in there, I can adjust then to quieter volume or louder volume quite easily achieved. And we're not limited then to the sounds of the piano. So, for example, if I wanted to play, just stop that there for a second. If I wanted to play these with not with the standard piano sound, but let's say, for example, we want to go with something a little bit more jazzy. Yeah, we could write sort of that electronic piano sound. Let's see how it sounds then with both of them played together. Let's see how this works with a little example from a Mozart piano concerto. The CX102 is also equipped with a 22-watt speaker system, which already provides an impressive tonal presence for such a small cabinet. And the CX202 steps things up a little bit with a 40-watt system, producing a noticeably deeper, more immersive sound that fills the room with warmth and clarity. In addition to that extra power, Kawai has also redesigned the power adapter supplied with the 202. This new larger adapter, which was developed by Kawai's R&D team, was designed to reduce floor noise by around 50%, meaning that you have less hiss in the background and fewer background noise from the internal amplification on the piano. As a result, you get a cleaner, smoother sound overall, particularly noticeable when you are sustaining quiet passages or when trying to listen to it through the headphones. Anyone who likes high-fidelity sound reproduction will appreciate how crucial the power supply is normally in maintaining our audio purity. Kawai has applied the same attention to detail we normally associate with high-end hi-fi systems, refining the power itself to improve signal clarity and also noise suppression. Recently, I also reviewed Kawai's ES60 piano, which is a more lightweight and portable instrument than the CX102. Although the touch and action are quite similar, the 102 offers a slightly more powerful sound and, importantly, a much sturdier cabinet construction. As a slightly larger player myself, I really appreciate that sense of solidity. It makes the instrument feel more stable under the hands, and it improves the perceived quality of the playing experience. The triple pedal setup also contributes to these. As for the differences between the CX102 and CX202, the main reason I personally lean towards the CX202 is the responsive hammer compact 2 action. This makes a significant difference in the way that the piano feels, especially when tackling more advanced repertoire. The enhanced subtlety and nuance that can be achieved with this key action really shouldn't be underestimated. The speaker system is another clear step up, moving from 22 watts in the 102 to 40 watts in the 202, and that extra headroom makes a noticeable impact, particularly if you're playing in a larger room or simply enjoy a fuller and more enveloping sound. Both instruments deliver the unmistakable warmth of the SKEX Kawai grand piano, and both have a really beautiful, lovely feel under the fingers, both in terms of the touch and the tonal projection. For many pianists, the CX102 will be more than enough, offering everything needed for daily practice and musical enjoyment. But if you have the budget, the CX202 is without a doubt the more refined instrument, slightly more powerful, a little bit more elegant, and a little bit more musical.